Hi guys, so this is the little video I made to show you how to put the pictures together in Photoshop. Okay, so we'll get started here. Okay, so the first step is we're going to open Photoshop and import the files. In your taskbar on your computer, if you just start typing Photoshop in the start menu, you'll be able to get the application to show up. You can see the top there where we see Adobe Photoshop in the list. Okay, and you just click on that to get it going. And so it just takes a few seconds, then it should load up. So it's loading. Okay, we're in Photoshop now. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is import the files to a stack. And we do this through the file menu. It's up at the top left, so you'll see the mouse cursor is going to go up there. And we go down to Scripts and Scripts Event Manager. Okay, so we click Scripts, so we select Load File Stack, and this will import the raw files as layers into the new image. Okay, this brings up the little dialog to load the layers, and you can see there's a Browse button, so we want to click on that. And that's going to open up the Windows File Explorer. Okay, so once the File Explorer appears, just make sure you navigate to the folder where you have your raw files from your camera saved. So in your folder, you should see thumbnails on the left like we have here. If they're too small, then you can change the size. And to do that, you use this icon on the upper right. And we'll zoom in so I can show you that. So this little icon up here. That's the icon. If you click on it, it's going to show you the options. And you have extra large, medium, etc. So you want it set to extra large. And you can just see the effect of changing it. Okay, so make sure you have extra large. You can click on the images on the left panel, and that's going to allow you to preview them in the right side of the window. Just like that. You can hover your mouse over the middle bar that you see there, and once it becomes a little cursor with two arrowheads, then you can click and drag to change the size of the preview window if you need to do that to help you see the image. Here's an example. If I drag left and right, okay. So next you want to hold the control button on your keyboard and then click on each image in your set that you want to import. So you just need to kind of look around and make sure you have the right images that you want to import. So it looks like I've got the 5 images here. Okay, so I go up, I select the background, and then I'm going to hold the control button down and select the other images too that I want until all 5 are selected. Just like that. So once you've selected all of your image that you want to import, then you just need to click the OK button. So you just review, make sure you've got the right images. Click OK, And then the Photoshop dialog opens. You can see the image is selected. Okay, you don't need to worry about attempting to align the sources unless your camera moves between shots. And then you click OK to import to Photoshop. And you can see you start to import the layers now in Photoshop in the layers panel. Okay. So these little eyes in the layers panel, those are used to turn layers on and off. Okay, if you click on them, it's going to turn layers on and off. So you can see here, the top layer, we turn it off and reveals the underlying layer. Turn it back on and the top layer again. So that's what those little eyes do. We want to erase on the top layer, but we need to turn down the opacity in order to see the image below. That way it will be easy to erase because we're going to erase essentially a hole in the top layer to reveal the image underneath, which is the subject standing there, okay? So there's the subject. We want to erase the top layer to reveal that subject. So let's turn that layer back on and adjust the opacity, which is on the right side there. So that's where the opacity is. You can just reduce that to some value so that it reveals the underlying layer that you want to erase. There's a little slide bar. You could just double click on the number and type it in if you want, like this. And now you can see the underlying image is visible. Okay. And here I'll just show you adjusting the opacity with the slider, so you can see how the difference it makes as you use different values. See, it's very slight there. So once you selected it, then we're going to go ahead and erase it. So we're going to use the eraser tool for this. And that's on the left side. So we'll zoom in over there. And that's the eraser. I'm going to make sure your icon looks like this. If not, then you right click on the icon and select the correct tool. So if you right click, it shows you what your other eraser options are. And we have eraser already selected, so that's the one we want to go with, is the top one there. Okay, at the top of the window, for any tool you have selected, you can select, and for the eraser in this example, you can select the opacity and the flow. So you want to set that to 100%. That's the icon for the eraser. Here you make sure opacity is set to 100%. There's a slider, same for the flow. Okay, once those are both set to 100%, then you're almost to begin ready to erase. You can make the eraser bigger or smaller. I'm sorry, this is kind of truncated here, but you can make it bigger or smaller by using the square brackets on the keyboard. So just above the enter key, slightly to the left, you'll see there's two keys for the left and right brackets for the square brackets. So the left square bracket makes the icon, the cursor smaller, and the right icon makes the cursor bigger. So you'll see it changes size. So you want to select the cursor that's a fairly big size, so you don't spend a lot of time erasing. And the cap locks will make the cursor appear or disappear. So it'll either be just an X or a circle. Okay, so we want to make sure. Okay, now we erased it. We made the cursor big, and then the bottom of the window on the right there, you can see in the top layer where my mouse is, there's a hole erased in there. We'll take a look. So we erased in the top layer. And you need to turn off all the layers except the top one if you want to see the hole, because we're looking at the underlying layers now. So as we turn them all off, right, and increase the opacity of the top layer back up to 100. Oh, yep. Now you can see that there's a hole that we actually erased in the window. And I'm sorry the cursor didn't show up for erasing on the video. And I think it's just because of the software I'm using to record this. For some reason, it doesn't pick that up. Okay, anyways, we're going to continue now. So we turn on the underlying layer, and we can see the subject underneath fills in the hole, which is perfect. Use the control key and select both the top and underlying layer. So you can see on the right side there, we're going to select this layer, holding the control key down. Then we're going to right click on this and merge the layers. So up here, you merge the layers. When you do that, you can see here now there's less layers. It's merged into one. Okay. Now we want to repeat the steps. Okay. And the video messed up, so I'm going to have to explain it to you here. So step one is going to be to set the opacity of the top layer to reveal the underlying layer. Okay, then step two will be to erase the top layer to reveal the image underneath. Okay, and step three is going to be set the opacity back to 100% for the top layer, and step four is to merge the images again. And we just keep repeating that pattern. So you'll see here, we select it, top and the underlying layer, reduce the opacity of the top layer, so we reveal it over here so we can see what we want to erase. We go in now and we erase the top layer. That, oops, I accidentally erased some of this guy, so Control Z will undo, and then you can do it again. Control Z will allow you to undo your mistakes, right? So once you've erased the top layer to reveal the underlying image, set the top layer opacity back to 100 again. There we go, setting that to 100. Control click on this bottom image here. Okay, you can see the hole we made. So now control click so that both are selected. Then right click on here and merge the images. Good, that's done. Now we're going to repeat it again. Set the opacity of this layer, reduce it so it shows the next image, which is going to be over here. That's me. We're going to erase it. Okay, good. Set the opacity back to 100. Good. Control click on the underlying layer so both are selected. Right click on the layers and merge. Good. Now we have one more layer left, so let's turn on that layer. Right, let's set the top layer opacity. So we reduce it to 50%. Okay, so the other person is kind of out of the picture here. You can't see it, but on your screen when you do it, you'll see it. I'll zoom out to show you here. Okay, same step. Once you've erased, there's the whole control click, then right click and merge. It's a very easy pattern. Okay, now all the images are merged into the final layer. That's me there. Okay, once that's done, click crop If you want to crop the image, you might want to do that. In this case, I decided to do that. Up here, you can see the ratios. Sorry, it's going a little fast here. But you can play around with the crop tool. Okay, you just kind of drag your window around the image until you have it framed. Okay, once you've done that, you click the little check mark up here, and that will complete the cropping process. Good. So now you have your final images. Next thing you want to do is save as, or export, pardon me, and we want to export as from the menu. We export it as a JPEG file. Okay, so it's going to bring up this little dialog window. We want to make sure that JPEG is selected, which is at the top right here. You might want to adjust the quality. You can go down to, let's say, 70%, and it's still fine for viewing on the computer, but it makes your files smaller so they don't take so long to upload. And that's about all you really have to do. So you just select export and let Photoshop do its thing. Export all, and I'm just going to save it to the desktop. Me+3, save, and now the image has been saved. Here's the desktop, there's the image. That I've created, and here's what it looks like if we open it up in a Windows Photo Viewer, for example. That's the final product. So that's all there is to it. That is all the steps. Okay, thanks. Hopefully you upload your videos, your pictures, and look forward to seeing them. Thanks a lot.